Okay, this video may have a bit of a rant tone to it today, but it's one I have been planning since I started visiting our national parks. Why are there so many people doing so many dumb things in national parks? I'm going to start with the most basic of all. Nothing boggles my mind more than to be taking in one of the amazing views in our national parks and finding trash sitting on the ground next to me. It seems like the bare minimum a person can do is throw away their trash, and yet I observed some new campers leaving the box for their brand new tent and all the trash from their camping trip in the fire pit upon leaving their site. Carting out your trash, especially in campgrounds equipped with waste disposal facilities, is not only considerate, it's really not that difficult. A few years ago, I was camping in Zion National Park, and at 4 a.m., a family pulled into the site next to mine. The headlights from the vehicle shining directly on my tent, and their kids running around my tent. Now, I realized that they arrived late and they needed to set up their tent, so a little noise is to be expected. But why didn't they even think to stop their kids from running around the campground? Well, I guess they can't be running through the campground, they could have only ran through the campground because it's past tense, and namely mine. This past summer, I was at Yosemite waiting for the bus line that goes around the park, which to be fair is woefully understaffed and not enough buses run. While I was waiting in the crowd for the bus, a natural line formed. Two people with very large backpacks walked up and tried to go in the back door of the bus when it was clear that that was an exit only. And they clearly knew this because they weren't waiting for the other people to get off the bus before they pushed their way in. Thankfully, the bus driver got involved and made them wait in line. Look guys, I agree that having to wait for a second bus that might not come for another 15 minutes and then be mostly full is really bad. But we have to treat each other with respect when we're out in the national parks. Really, we need to do this all the time. The urge to leave one's mark on nature is a misguided one. The reality is no one cares that you were here in 1999. Graffiti not only defaces the natural beauty of the park, but also disrupts the experience for future visitors. Preserving the park's authenticity is far more rewarding than leaving behind some trace of personal presence. Now, for some reason, people cannot fathom that a wild animal is dangerous, whether it's a deer, an elk, a bison, or even a bear. Week after week, I see new videos of people getting too close to wild animals. Maybe this fact will help. Annually, 47,000 people seek medical attention for injuries incurred from a wild animal, and 8 people lose their life. Feeding the animals for that Instagram moment is even worse. Let's take bears for instance. Bears are typically shy of people. When they are fed by people, they begin to lose that fear. Bears that lose that fear of humans become dangerous. The next time, they might demand that food, and they are going to win. So for that reason, bears that lose their fear of humans have to be put down, also known as killed. So you getting that perfect Instagram vid can cost the animal its life as well. The key point I want to get across is that these animals don't like you, they're not your friend, and they don't want your hugs. Most all of us get that barriers are there to prevent us from going to the place on the other side of the barrier. We also understand that the barrier was not put there to be mean to us. So why do so many people go past these barriers? Even celebrities are not immune. Pierce Brosnan was recently fined for getting too close to the thermal areas in Yellowstone National Park. I personally witnessed several people at Glacier Point go over the railing so that they could sit and dangle their feet over the 3,000-foot cliff. One even climbed on top part of the barrier and stood on top of it. Each year, there are an average of 160 deaths in national parks. The National Park Service says that 17% of those are from falls. Just in the span of 8 days in April of 2023, 2 people died from falls at the Grand Canyon National Park. Climbing over barriers can have fatal consequences, and most of these 160 deaths could be avoided just by using some common sense. The last thing, I admit, comes a lot from me being a dad, but I still feel it needs to be said. Why do people feel the need to stand on the edge of cliffs? Have you never had a single clumsy moment in your life? I'm seeing the same view from 4 feet back with far less risk. Yes, I know, as I said, I'm a dad. I project how I would feel if it were my kids on the edge. But here's the thing, not all of the 28 deaths from falls came from people climbing barriers. There are places, for example, at the Grand Canyon that don't have any fence or barrier or even signs that say stay off the cliff. So naturally, people are going to climb out on this cliff. I've seen them climb out to the point where there is cliff on either side of them. In my book, this is dumb. Too risky, especially when the payoff in view isn't any different from that of the safe viewing areas. Hey, if you want to give me a little dopamine burst, please subscribe. And if you like this video, well, then like this video.